Okay, Paddy, we're ready to go with another exciting and interesting episode of how to stay sane, motivated, and productive during this rather challenging time. Subtitled, Screw COVID-19. All right, let's rock. We'll talk about attitude and the question you can ask when things go wrong. Hey, fellow isolationists, Conor Cunneen here with another fascinating little tip on how to stay sane, motivated, and productive during these challenging times. Now, we're all struggling right now to some extent. I think it's probably fair to say. Some of us are struggling from a financial point of view. Some of us are struggling from a financial and from a mental point of view as well. And what I would like to do here in taking one of the elements of Sheaf Gab, you can see the 8 building blocks there in front of you. Thanks, Paddy. Is to talk about attitude. And we can choose our attitude during this situation. Some of you might be familiar with a man by the name of Viktor Frankl. He was an Austrian psychiatrist who spent some years in the Nazi concentration camps during the Second World War. And after he was released from the concentration camps, Viktor Frankl wrote a book titled Man's Search for Meaning. In that book, Viktor Frankl said that everything can be taken from a person except the loss of their freedoms, the ability to choose one's attitude in any set of circumstances. That's right, the ability to choose one's attitude in any set of circumstances. Now, that's easy for someone to write and to say, but Frankl actually in his book wrote that he spoke about the people who walked through the huts, comforting others and giving their last piece of bread. And it was those people that choose their attitude and could choose their attitude in that kind of a situation. For us, we can choose our attitude as well during what is a difficult time. And we're all going through our own little private hells right now. How do you choose your attitude? You do it by asking yourself one powerful question when you're not feeling great, or just before you go to bed at night. It's a question that will help you tomorrow morning. The question is, what do I want my attitude to be? What do I want my attitude to be? Let's just see how this might work. One of the things about this COVID-19 situation and the mental game that it is, I really do believe we've got to treat it as a mental game and do deliberate, actionable, intentional things to be able to win this mental game, is that we have got to take deliberate, intentional activities ourselves. So let's have a look at a little anecdote here as to how you could ask yourself a powerful question. What do I want my attitude to be? Let's assume that you've just this morning, you decided you wanted to get out and change your environment a little bit and you went for a walk or a run. Just as you were going out the door, you said to your teenager, "Hi, kiddo, will you record the program on television? I'm just going for a walk." All right. You come back 1 hour later, you're refreshed, you're feeling better about yourself, you've been thinking about some of the content in this Sheaf Gab program on how to stay sane, motivated and productive during COVID-19, and you walk in and you say to the teenager, just before you go for the shower, "Hi, have you recorded the program on television?" And you get that standard teenage response of something like, "Huh?" And you know where the brain should be, there's an empty space, just populated by 2 little squirrels running around the place, enjoying themselves because they can during this self-isolation. And the 2 little squirrels are saying, "What were we supposed to do? What were we supposed to do?" So this is a program now you really wanted to see. It's the 72nd rerun of the 3rd episode of Survivor 2009, but you really wanted to see it again. Okay, so now, just having come back from that walk where you're feeling good about yourself, you're suddenly in a funk. Your spouse now isn't speaking to you. The teenager is in a funk. The dog has run away. The cat is hiding underneath the table. And you've got a hamster running around the treadmill at 100 revolutions per second saying to itself, because hamsters are actually very clever. Paddy Downey told me that. Hamsters are very clever. The hamster is saying to itself, why doesn't someone remember to ask themselves the question they should ask when things go wrong? And that question is, what do I want my attitude to be? What do I want my attitude to be? Because in a situation like that, if you ask the question, what do I want my attitude to be? You're not going to say, I want to be annoyed at the teenager. You're not going to say, I want to be frustrated at the teenager. You're not going to say, I want to be frustrated. However, if you do ask and think about the answer, if you ask, what do I want my attitude to be? I think you're going to say, I don't want to be frustrated about this. I don't want this COVID-19 to just be eating into me and into my family as well. So what I want my attitude to be is I want to be upbeat. I want my attitude to be forgiving. I want to give my, and if I'm forgiving and upbeat, I want to reach out and hug my teenager. All of this happens because you ask the question, what do I want my attitude to be? Now, I'm not saying that this is a complete panacea, and I'm not telling you not to get angry and not to get annoyed at times. It would be nice if we didn't, but we don't work that way. But after you have just maybe lost it, got frustrated for a couple of seconds, ask yourself, what do I want my attitude to be? It is a truly powerful question. I'll give other examples of where it worked in other videos and episodes as we're going along. But one of the times I do ask it is before I go to bed at night, I say to myself, all right, Conor, what do I want my attitude to be tomorrow morning? And I don't know whether this will actually show now in the video here, but I also do notice by default, and I did not do this deliberately, when I ask myself the question there for you, what do I want my attitude to be? I can still see myself doing now. I actually straighten up and I actually just feel a little bit more powerful. We're playing mind games, gang. Mind games will determine how we get out of this. And I genuinely do believe that if you ask the question, what do I want my attitude to be? It will make a real difference to you. If over the next couple of days you have got difficult phone calls or Zoom calls to make, you're working from home, you've got some interviews or others that going on, you know you're going to have a difficult conversation with a vendor, customer, client, fellow worker, etc. Before that conversation, ask yourself, what do I want my attitude to be? And when you ask yourself that question, you're probably going to say, I need to get something out of this meeting. I don't want it to go down in flames. I don't want to be frustrated. I don't want to be annoyed. So the question, what do I want my attitude to be, works after something goes wrong, and it works before something goes wrong. For everyone here, the question, what do I want my attitude to be, can be really powerful. So that's it for today's exciting episode of how to stay sane, motivated, and productive in job search. It's basically based on my book, Chief Gap, How to Stay Sane, Motivated, and Productive in Job Search. But whether you're in job search or whether it's COVID-19, these are powerful lessons for you. So we leave it at that, Paddy, for today. Oh, yes, I got to do my limerick, don't I? Yes, we're going to do another Screw COVID-19 limerick before we end this broadcast, my people. And we'll go as follows. Distancing is not really a folly, though it's a challenge to stay always jolly. When we do what is right, we've a bright future in sight, smiling and feeling quite jolly. Positive words make a difference to how we feel as well, gang. See you tomorrow. Same station, same time, same place. Conor Cunneen, Irishman Speaks, signing off. Cheers. Is that okay, Paddy? We do a good job? Rock and roll. See you, gang.